cannot believe everything you read. We know that. We need to read things with what you call a hermeneutic of suspicion, reading it with suspicion whether it's true or not. But yesterday there were a lot of articles online, on social media about daylight savings time, about its origins, about how people want to get rid of it. I mean, supposedly Ben Franklin came up with the idea as a joke. And then in World War I, they implemented it to supposedly save energy, and then it stopped for a while, then they brought it back to World War II, and it's continued, and about, what, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, they changed when daylight saving time starts, so it's this Sunday. This Sunday, there's going to be more accidents, more heart attacks, you name it, all because we want more daylight at night. And I'm not certain about you, but when my alarm went off this morning, I wanted to take my phone, which is what I use, and just smash it against the wall. I absolutely hate the fact that I have lost an hour of sleep. I know, we're getting more light tonight. But what I hate even more, I hate waking up to alarm clocks. I hate that. I'd much rather wake up naturally. You know, when your body's rested and ready to go. I mean, whether it be maybe some of you still have them, the old-fashioned wind-up clocks that goes tick-tock, tick-tock, and then it goes or what about the old, maybe you have a clock radio that either you listen to the radio going off in the morning, or you get the beep, beep, beep. Or like many of us, you now use your cell phone, which of course, you know, can have any tone you want to help get you up, and it will keep going until you decide to either press a snooze button, which is not a good idea, or you get up. You know, the problem with alarms is they do exactly what they are intended to do, is they alarm us. They shake us up to the core. We're in a state of calmness, and then the alarm says, be alert, be aware, whether it be getting up with an alarm clock, whether it be in World War II when they would send the sirens when the blitzkrieg was coming to warn people to get to safety, whether it be when you hear the fire trucks sounding the alarm. Whatever it might be, your senses are immediately awoken, whatever, when you hear that alarm. It's doing what it is supposed to do. It shakes you up, and you're often not ready for it. Now, 3 weeks ago on Tuesday, I had a little alarm incident. I was driving on Belmore Avenue when a car in front of me was stopped. It was during traffic time, so I had to wait. And the car turned left, and as I was getting ready to go forward, my foot was still on the brakes, my hands on the steering wheel. Somebody from behind hit me about 40 miles an hour. Talk about an alarm. I mean, it first off shocked me. Secondly, it immediately caused pain. And thirdly, I just didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, what happened? How did this happen? I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, thank God I was driving a Volkswagen Passat, and the other guy was driving a Toyota Corolla. The bigger car always wins. But I think how easily it could have been that something else could have happened. You know, how easy it is for our life to be snatched away from us. Right when we least expect it. Or how, because of just one thing, it can change your life for years. This morning we heard the story about Mary taking a bottle of perfume, which we're told was 300 denarii. Now one denarius was the daily wage for one person, basically. So you're looking like a year's worth of wages, and when they figure it out about what people were getting paid then to what it is now, you're talking a $20,000 per bottle of perfume. $20,000. And she takes it and pours it all over Jesus' feet and wipes it up with her hair. Now, any of you would go and take a $20,000 bottle of anything and pour it on the ground, I would look at you and say that you are absolutely insane. I mean, who would do such a thing? I mean, here, I have to say, I understand what Jude Iscariot, what he's saying there. I mean, he might have wanted the money for himself, but regardless, the fact of the matter is, that money for that ointment could have been used for a lot of good. But that's not the point that Mary is trying to make. See, she knew right then and right there that her Lord, her Savior, was not going to be around much longer. And she would lavish him with the biggest gift possible, an extravagant gift, an overwhelming gift, a gift from the heart, but a gift which shook up every other disciple that was there. Because for the first time, even though Jesus had been talking about his imminent death for many times, they still would never get it. And then this act happened, and the disciples had to be waking up to the reality that something was going to happen. My sisters and my brothers, we live our lives on a daily basis. We expect everything to go along as we plan. We plan things. I bet some of you even know what you're having for lunch tonight or dinner tonight, or what your plans for the rest of the day are. You know what you're going to do tomorrow. We have everything all set. Our life is scheduled. We schedule our kids. Our workplaces schedule us. We schedule ourselves with our volunteer work. Everything is in its proper place until that alarm happens, which puts everything off kilter and completely changes our life around and turns our life upside down and makes us really stop and think about what we've been doing. That accident forced me to do a lot of thinking. Because other than going to therapy, there's not much to do. Too much time on my hands. That's why I had to come back. It was driving me nuts. But you know, I thought about my life, and I kept thinking about how blessed I am. I'm blessed. I mean, I have my life, you know, I have Carrie, I have family, I have good friends, I get to serve this wonderful church, I get to do some amazing things in our deanery and the diocese, and I mean, God is blessing beyond blessed. I mean, I just feel like, wow. But that accident made me realize that all of those things that I'm just talking about are like Paul talked about in his letter, they are nothing more than rubbish. Rubbish. A horrible translation. Paul here is actually saying that those things that he was talking about him being the scholar, the student, doing this, doing that, that is actually dung, feces, doo-doo. Do I need to go any further? No. Human excrement. That is what Paul is saying, that all that stuff in our life, really, it's nothing. And it's nothing compared to the love of God through Christ and the gift he gave us in salvation on the cross. And everything that I have held true about myself, that I've known about myself, none of that's important. I'm not saying it isn't, but it's insignificant compared to the love that God through Christ has for me and he has for you. And I don't know how long I have to do the work that I am called to do, because literally it can be taken away again in a flash. We have 2 weeks left in Lent to really examine ourselves, to really look deep inside of ourselves, to see what are those things in our life that need shaken up, that the alarm needs to be pulled, and that things need to be changed to do what we are called. Not for our own reasons, but to be the hands and feet of Christ in the world today. That means in a world that is full of right now hatred, that we can be peacemakers. In a world that is full of hate, we can be instruments of love. That we can feed the hungry. We can clothe the naked. We can comfort those who are mourning. We can sit with those who are sick. We can pray for our enemies. We can do all these things that Jesus calls each and every one of us to do, because you don't know how much longer you have left to do it. And do you want your epitaph to read, "Oh, the person I didn't have enough time"? Or do you want it to read, "That person was Christ to others"? Mary woke up the disciples that night. That car crash has woken me up. And God is ringing an alarm bell for all of us today, asking each and every one of us, what really is most important? What really are we called to do? To push our old selves aside and to go forth and to be and live the life of Christ for others.